Sorry I'm a few minutes late. I was just finishing up another call, but I'm here now. So hi. So for anybody who doesn't know me, my name is Lindsey Hall and I'm an intimacy and empowerment coach. And what that means is that I really love helping women deepen into intimacy with themselves and first and foremost, and with others, own their power and their pleasure. They are very connected, and live joyful lives that we absolutely fucking love. So that is like what underscores all of the work I do and why I do it. And I do that in lots of different ways. So hi, welcome. I do these weekly tea break chats. Sorry, the light is so funny today. It's actually sunny outside for once, and apparently my camera can't handle that. But so I do these weekly tea break chats where I come on and I talk about what's been going on in life in the last week or so, and then I answer your questions. So, what has been going on in life in the last week or so? So many things, as always. And I remember saying yesterday in my stories that this was going to be a big one, and now I'm like, what even are the things that's been going on? It's been okay. So where are we? All right, this weekend was a 3-day weekend, and I really ended up disconnecting quite a lot from social media again. And sometimes it's sort of planned, sometimes it's not. I've always stayed off my phone a bunch when I've got my kids, but usually once they're asleep, it's straight back on it. But actually, this weekend I took a lot of quiet time with because I needed it with them. So last week was very like go with work. And I think I did mention this in last week's tea break chat, but I was just on a roll. Like I was getting so much done. And I talked about the masculine and feminine and how my feminine was like, oh, I've had these beautiful conversations and these beautiful, like I was lit up, and my masculine energy was like, great, I've got a mission. I know what to do. I'm going to support you in this. And I did the YouTube channel, and I got my email list going, and I got like all of these, like I did like all of my website back end stuff and a whole bunch of structure stuff that you guys on the front end won't necessarily see, but was really supportive for me and for my business. And that then lets my feminine even more like get all turned on and be like, what else can we do? So I did, and that continued through the whole of last week. Like I spent more time sitting at my laptop and working than I have in a very long time. And bear in mind, for my life, my business, the way I do things, work does not always mean at my computer or on my phone. Work can also mean like filling myself up and getting out and moving my body and all kinds of other stuff. So work is a very fluid term. People sometimes ask me like, so how many hours do you spend working now? And like, I don't know how to answer that, because basically my whole life also factors into my business in some way, which is very much the way I want it to be. Everything that I'm doing, whether I am having fun with friends or on a date or relaxing or whatever it is, like those are all still feeding me and feeding my soul, which then feeds into my business and feeds into my clients. So it's very much linked. All of that said, though, last week I did spend a lot more time doing what looks traditionally like work, of sitting at my laptop, like getting stuff done, more than I have in a long time. And this week, so I needed the weekend then. That's where I was going with that. I needed the weekend to just unplug from all of that and really tune back into my kids. And the couple weeks before that, my girls and I had some tough times because my 3-year-old had been in a place where she was like shouting at me for all of the things and angry with the world, and like being a 3-year-old could be hard sometimes. And then that set off the almost 6-year-old, because she was like, why is she being like this? And just really emotional and teary, and it was challenging. It was a challenging couple weeks. But this weekend, I don't know what shifted or what changed, but it was so much easier. So the 3-year-old was no longer pissed off at the world and pissed off at me. She was feeling much more open to anybody speaking to her. The 5, almost 6-year-old was therefore a lot calmer. Everybody was just in a better mood. We also we got outside, we got rained on several times. We played, we just like went with it, and things were good. I also had a moment, I will share this with you guys because I know that you guys love my dating updates sometimes. There was a man who I have probably talked about him, although not by name ever, but I have talked about him many times over the last many months, who dated way last summer and has like just been around and has come up many times since then. But I finally, a few weeks ago, did like big closure, and really was like, okay, it's time to like close that door for good instead of pretending to close that door for good, and really like released him from my system, from my brain, from my body, like did a big cleansing of him, but also like the old patterns that I have followed in dating since I was a teenager, and like really did that. And this weekend was great evidence that it worked. My cleansing, my closure, because like there will be more stuff that comes up because there always is, but I ran into him at the pub, and for the first time, it did not shake my whole system. This was the first time where I saw him and it was like, okay, he's here, I'm here, it just is. And that was really cool. He then left, and because I was there with my kids and other kids, and it was pure chaos. Honestly, I don't know, like everybody wanted to get away from us. But that was just a side note to say that, yeah, I was really proud that this is the first time that I ran into this guy who's had such a big impact on my life in like a really, really, really good way. But the closure piece had worked, and it felt great. So it is possible. But all that was when. Sorry, I'm like talking in lots of different directions today. But when I ran into him at the pub, that was part of our afternoon of getting rained on and just playing with the kids. And we just like, the girls were getting soaking wet in the rain. And it was just fun to like go with the flow, let things happen, let things develop. And doing that was good for me and also good for my connection with the girls. And then the next day we got out and went out in the woods, which again is like, it's so good for all of us, isn't it? To connect in with nature and to just explore and adventure. And so it was a really good connecting weekend for myself and the girls, and it just felt so peaceful and lovely and great, which was great, because it then like that helped me replenish and dive into this week. So although this is a short week and it's Wednesday today, but it kind of still feels like Monday. Like I know that bank holidays like throw everybody off, and short weeks, everyone's always like, what's happening? Because like that's how I feel, even though it's Wednesday, and yesterday felt like Monday, but today also feels like Monday too. But this week I'm like straight back into like, I can't wait to do all of this work. And it was really interesting to notice that whereas in every other year in my corporate job, like bank holidays especially, so this year in England we have an extra bank holiday because this weekend is the King's coronation. So we get an extra day off. So we have, in May, there's usually 2 Mondays that you get off, and this year we get 3 Mondays off. And in the past, like in my corporate job, I'd be like, yes, I love the long weekends, so I would be so excited for the extra time. Honestly, this year I am like, ugh, these bank weekends are kind of getting in the way. Like I've got so much I want to do. And I may have felt that in the past at my corporate job sometimes of like, I have so much on my to-do list I have to get done, but it was not because it was stuff I wanted to get done. It was like, pressure you have to, like the workload is piling up, and that does not feel good. Whereas this time it's like, there's so much stuff I want to do in my business and like keep cracking on with. And like, it just, I cannot wait until my next work day when I can dive into more work. So yesterday I spent a good chunk of the day just connecting with people. And I have now booked on as a guest on 7 different podcasts at the moment, plus 2 more in the works. And those are all kind of scheduled over the next 2 to 3 weeks. And I am so excited about them. So I'm going to start showing up and talking to more people about my experience in going through divorce and divorce after dating and divorcing with kids, and about the sexual and the pleasure side, and how uncovering all of this sexual shame and like shedding all that stuff for me has been so empowering and has let me really it's so interconnected to again, interconnected to my business, my life, my dating, my relationships with other people. Like all of this is so deeply connected. And so to have the chance to talk to more people about this is just supremely exciting. So I spent yesterday like reaching out to all these different podcasts, and some of them are people I know and some of them are not. Some of them are total strangers. And then the excitement of knowing that I'm going to have all of these conversations coming up is super freaking awesome. I also have something in the works for these tea break chats. So these are going to be getting a little bit of something else thrown in. Do I want to tell you now? I don't think I do. I think I'm going to hold on to this secret for just a little bit longer, and then surprise you with it soon. So just know that these tea break chats, although they're not going anywhere by any means, but I'm going to be doing something different, probably starting from next week. But that's the part where I just want to hold on to it for a little bit longer, and then I'll tell you all the exciting stuff that's coming. So there's just a lot going on in terms of my business and in terms of setting up more structure and more foundation, which feels so good and actually freeing and liberating that I can put that structure in place, but knowing that I get to change it, knowing that it all gets to flow, and just knowing that, I get to talk to so many more people. And, because talking to you guys and connecting with you individually is absolutely my favorite part of all of this. And so the more I can do that, the more people I get to talk to and connect with and hear your stories and share my stories with, and just, it's all so awesome. So yeah, that's what's been going on. Can you tell I'm excited? I also want to really quickly talk about, so I have done a human design little course with a coach called named Charlotte Pridmore. Charlotte is amazing. And so she has been doing my human design chart reading. If you don't know anything about human design, which I did not before this, it's basically like an energetic blueprint from when you were born. Like when you are born, because we are all energy, you get this like energetic blueprint, and understanding that blueprint and understand that blueprint, and it is by no means like the whole point of it is to be empowering and to lean into the parts where you are most energetically aligned, and then you can use those in different ways. So I've been really diving into understanding my human design with Charlotte, so that I can take these, like the gifts that I am most energetically aligned with, I can lean into those and use them in life and in business even more. So I probably shouldn't even start talking about that, because it's so big. Like we've had 4 sessions on it, and I can't even say 4 hours because every single one of them has gone over. So we've probably had about 6 hours talking about it. And there's just so much more that when I digest it more, I'll have more questions and more experiments with. But that's been a big piece that's been like flowing in the background for the last 4 weeks or so as well. And just understanding even more about me, about what lights me up, about what gifts I have, about how to use these gifts, how to really just, and recognizing the parts where I'm like, yes, I feel fully empowered in that. And like, that is like, I can see the greatness in me in that. And then there's other sections where I'm like, ooh, no, I feel constricted. I feel small. I feel like actually I am not owning that at all. One of them being like kind of my throat and communication. So although I've got these like great gifts, I still don't feel super confident all the time communicating that. And obviously I like to talk a lot, and obviously I like, I'm so excited for these podcasts and talking to you guys and doing these tea break chats, but there's still like around my throat, and I'm making the motion around my throat area, there's stuff that like I'm just not communicating these deeper important things and feeling restricted around communication. So that's an area that I get to look at and work on empowering more. So like I said, that's just been it's been the past 4 or 5 weeks that we've been doing these sessions, and it's been really enlightening and interesting and something to play with. So if you are interested in human design and learning more about it at all, I totally recommend Charlotte. She's got a package for these sessions. You can get a single one, but honestly, I don't recommend a single one because that is just like dipping your toe in and you're going to be like, what? But there's so much more. I definitely recommend getting the 3-session package. I then did an extra one with her because we both talk a lot. So I recommend that with Charlotte. She's amazing. You can find her on here on Charlotte Brickmore. Okay, I'm going to move on to your questions now. Y'all, I am struggling today. Let me try that again. How about I just have a drink first? Okay, so question was about, somebody messaged me to say that her question was she has a very sick father. Her dad is seriously ill. And he's in hospital and there's lots of stuff going on. And she said she feels like her number one priority is her. And what is my take on that? And my answer would be, I agree, is the short answer. So that might come as a surprise, if you're like, what? Surely her sick father is the priority. And that is what a lot of us believe, and what a lot of us believe is supposed to be the answer. And I would say, so again, with the communication piece, so I truly believe, so when there's big stuff going on like this, like when somebody close to us is ill, when there's traumatic things happening, when there's lots of, when there's sadness and grief and just hard stuff that life throws at us, but even sometimes that hard stuff is just our stuff. And sometimes, like in this case, it's other people's stuff. Like she's not the one who's ill. It is her father who's ill. But when there's all that big stuff going on, that is all the more time to lean into our tools, to lean into the stuff that we need to take care of us. Because I still strongly stand by, we can support others better when we are supported. So this is absolutely the time to focus on how do you fill up your stuff, your cup, so that you can then be there more, show up better for the others around you. If you are running yourself to the bone, if you are doing everything for everybody else, you shrink down, you become this like dried out, shriveled up shell of a person. I mean, I'm obviously exaggerating for dramatic purposes here, but when you take care of you, you then have more to give. Like it ends up being this beautiful, virtuous cycle. So other people might not understand this. So this is where it can be difficult. And I am not saying screw everybody else, ignore them and their wants and needs. That's not what I mean. You are part of a family. You are connected to other people. Like everybody does matter, but you are not responsible for everybody else. You are only responsible for you. And I do truly believe that the more filled up we are, the more we can do and help others. So for example, like if your dad's in the hospital, if you are going to the hospital every single day, and if you're going like straight from work to the hospital and staying late at night and, really like burning the candle at both ends to try and be there for him all the time and be there for your family, you are going to get more and more depleted. Whereas if you take some times to go straight home and to get the sleep you need and to fill your body with good food and to do the exercise that you need or to do the journaling or whatever it is, when you listen to what your needs are, you will then be better able the next day when you go back to the hospital, you will go in a better place. You will go able to be more present rather than being like, I'm so tired and I'm here, but I'm not really here and all of that. There is no specific, this is how many times you should go, or this is how you should do it, or, it's, again, it comes down to listening to your own needs, because there will be times when you say, what would feel best for me right now? And sometimes that answer will be, it's going to the hospital and it's sitting and holding my dad's hand all night long. Or sometimes the answer will be, it's going to my mom's house and making sure she has dinner, cooking dinner for her tonight, or cooking dinner and putting it in the freezer. Sometimes what really feels best to you at that moment will be doing the thing for somebody else. And sometimes the what feels best for me right now will be doing those things for you on your own. And that does not make you right or wrong. And I also just want to say that if it comes to the case, so I know a lot of the time the big fear, if somebody is seriously ill, the fear can be, but what if I'm not there when, when the end comes? What if I took that night off to go home and sleep and I'm not there when the time comes? And that could be. And that still does not make you wrong for taking that time off, okay? I just want to preempt that you still you get to be the one to look out for you. And you get to know that you doing the best thing for you is the best thing for other people. So I'm kind of trying to preempt something that could come down the road, but I just want to say that, to preempt that it does not make you a bad person if you were not there at the time when it's the end. I don't know. I feel like I'm trying so hard to answer sensitively, but also tell you that you please look out for yourself, be responsible for your needs, and that will ultimately end up serving everybody more. So that's that one. There was another part of that question which said, there's no such thing, or there are no other shoulds. I think that was probably just related to this, in terms of is looking out for you the most important thing, and not listening to other shoulds, as in you should be this, go there, or do that thing. So I think that was all one and the same. If that's not the case, and I haven't answered that question, let me know, and I will try and deal with it individually. But I think those were together. The other question that came in is one that I think I need more clarity on, and I haven't had the extra clarity yet. But the question was, how can you stop yourself from wanting lovenge, which I took to mean as love revenge. And again, I am gonna actually, rather than just not answering, I am gonna attempt to answer this, but I could really use some more clarity because this sounds very interesting, and some context here might help give a much better answer. But for me, when I think of lovenge, what comes up is somebody that you used to love and are no longer with, or maybe you are, but so somebody that you love and you want revenge in some way, like you have been hurt, or maybe they are with a new partner, or whatever it is, and you're wanting revenge in that sense. That's what is coming up for me. So like I said, this could be totally not what your question intended, but and in fact, this actually ties in with another question I had this week in a different context but actually feels linked to it. So a question I had this week was, my ex, who they have not had the full and final divorce settlement yet. They are still working on separating finances and coming up to the financial arrangement. But the ex is going on holiday with a new partner, and she said, how can he be doing that when we haven't finished our finances yet? That doesn't seem fair. And actually what we talked about was that it doesn't seem fair is an emotional response rather than a financial, you have separate money, and actually as long as he's paying the stuff that he is committed to paying with you, then what he does with the rest of his money actually isn't yours to be concerned with anymore. And emotionally is the same thing. So the reason I was saying I feel like these are linked is not wanting him to go on holiday with a new partner, or not wanting to go on holiday full stop, whoever it's with, feels like a form of love revenge, of wanting to, you feel hurt from something that has happened and then wanting to inflict hurt on somebody else. Or maybe you aren't the one who's inflicting the hurt, but you don't want them to have the good thing. You're not going on holiday, so why should they get to? Or maybe you're not with a new partner yet, so why should they get to be happily in love with a new partner? That is what, to me, those are types of love revenge. And what I say to that is, it ain't about the other person. It's just not. What we get upset about and triggered about in other people is almost always a mirrored reflection back of stuff within us. So getting upset that they're doing something that we're not, they shouldn't be going on holiday. They shouldn't be, why are they falling in love and I'm not? All that is a mirror showing us our stuff, but it's not, what they do is on them. That is totally up to them, and it is not a reflection of you. And actually, this is where This is where doing this work to separate those pieces and to really get to grips with what is theirs and what is ours is so very important. Because if we are feeling lack in some area, if we are feeling that we don't have the love that we want yet, that we don't have the relationship that we want, that we don't have the holiday that we want, that we don't have whatever it is, all of that comes down to looking at our shit and getting to grips with that. And that actually is what, when I talk about like intimacy with ourselves, and I say that that's first and foremost, that's exactly what all of this is. This is about intimacy with ourselves. This is about looking at where we want revenge of some sort, where we want others to hurt, and actually what is it in us that needs healing from this. Use it as a really helpful red flag in us to be like, there's something there that needs looking at. There's something there that needs my love and my attention and some healing work there. It does not mean that you are broken. It does not mean that you are wrong. It's just a red flag to be like, ding, 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 ding. I need some attention here in us. Always in us. So how do we stop that? We go inwards. We do the intimacy work within us. Is always my answer. Always. And if you've been watching these tea break chats for a while, you will know, annoyingly enough, that's always my answer, is it starts with you. So I hope that is helpful. But like I said, please do let me know the context, because I can also, if I've totally got that wrong, then let me know. But I hope that was helpful and probably applies to lots of other circumstances as well. So, okay, let me have a drink. Think if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything else today. I think that's all I've got. So let me just wrap up by saying, if you guys love this, then please let me know. Let me know your favorite part. If there's anything else that you want to talk about, let me know in the comments. We'll keep the conversation going. You know that I am always here for this to be a interactive back and forth conversations, because I love conversations. I am putting this up on YouTube now. So if you're watching on YouTube, hello, please feel free to to subscribe to my channel so you get these every week. They have so far for the past, I've been doing these for 11 months now. So for the past almost year, they've only been on Instagram. They've been exclusive to Instagram, and now they are branching out to YouTube. So yes, please do share, comment, do all the things. If you are on YouTube and you want to come find me on Instagram, it's at Lindsey Hall Coaches. My website is lindseyhallcoaches.com. I have got all kinds of great stuff going on right now. I've got the Divorcee, which launches the live program next Thursday, where we will be doing a 2-month Divorcee program, where you get recorded modules dropped every week. We get group calls to ask questions, and it's going to be just amazing. So if you are anywhere in the mess of divorce and feeling like there's got to be a better way, there is a better way, and I can help you. So that's on my website, or send me a message. You can always do one-to-one coaching. And yeah, I think that's it for now. So please, and then as I'm doing all these podcast recordings, which are coming up, I will absolutely be sharing the links and shouting about them, all over from all the rooftops. So you can catch me on there too. So share, comment, send me messages, do all the things, and we will keep talking. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.